Hello and hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to a week number 2 breakdown, of course, of the Fortnite World Cup Qualifiers. The first duo week, but week number 2 overall, so I hope you guys all enjoy. Firstly noted, I'll be touching on the Nick A30 drama. If you guys want that, that'll be in a few hours, probably later today as well. The drama around him possibly reporting someone in-game. I don't think it's much drama. I'll look more into it. If you guys want that, we'll look out for it on the channel later on. Speaking of drama, though, if you guys want storylines as well, skip to when I break down NA East, as well as, of course, Europe and NA West. These first few regions are kind of smaller regions, so if you guys want actual storylines, I will timestamp down below each region I break down. It should be a very quick summary, of course, of which duos did qualify, but as always, I hope you guys all enjoy. Let's hop over to Brazil, where we actually see some teams we, for once, know managed to qualify for the duo event. So firstly, it's W7M boys. It's going to be Zen and Nyx who take the spot, but also super nice to see Quasar. They also very well noted over in Brazil as well, alongside W7M and Red. Several duos from both those teams break the top 20 as well as the top 10, so at least we have some pros over there, duly noted pros out there making some good appearances over in Brazil. And that's Brazil for you guys. See, it's going to be a very quick breakdown until we get to the North American and Europe regions, where we know a bit more background about these players. Then over in Asia, guys, as well, which is going to be the duo of Bell and Scarlet number 1. If you guys don't recognize their names, they are followed closely by some signed players out there you might have heard of, Falsey being one of them, his partner Swilliam. Then we have a couple of top duos, Top and T1 are well-known orgs over in Asia as well, and some smaller org players in Blossom as well as WGS, also placing fairly high. So it's at least nice to see. Alongside them, Cloud9 Duty also had a fairly good showing over in Asia for the solos, so he is up there as well. So hopefully, crossing your fingers, we're going to see a lot of names out there that did very well in solos, kind of repeating themselves as well in terms of duos alongside that. So then over at Oceania as well, they're one spot on the line. And now we'll go to Cover H and Twiz taking that. Only really notable players you guys might know about are Trapped and Zarby from Ghost. Surprisingly enough, Renegades players not really doing too much. They dominated the solos over there in Oceania, but it's going to be Jesse and the Twins being the only Renegades players to actually crack anywhere near that top 10. So surprisingly enough, we're going to see those. Hopefully these bigger orgs and players will move up the list slowly but surely. But I'll say it once again, I still find it a bit weird that players who have already qualified can actually jump back in and compete again and take spots from other players, and also really kind of shift up the standings as well for other pro players out there. But either way, hopefully we're going to see more pro players we actually know, like Duty, like Zarby, from these smaller regions, only giving out single spots to actually slowly climb up the rankings and hopefully earn their spot later on. Let's hop into one of the firstly competitive regions out there, that being Europe, and it was a maelstrom of events. Storyline wise, it was great to see people like Mr. Savage. We saw him get very frustrated after week 1, rightfully so. I'm not trying to make fun of him. Mongrel and Mitro, or Mitro, however you pronounce it, no surprise, I guess you could say, to see them. So very well noted duo making it there. You feel really bad for Airwaks though. I mean, just excessively bad. He places 5th in the duos event, 10th in the solo event in the first week. That means, yes, someone did the math out there, he has already missed out on over $100,000 in prize pool earnings by just a couple of spots. A few spots week 1, just one spot week 2. You got to feel bad for that guy, but hopefully consistency does pay off. That is one player that I think we can all be cheering for now, because he has proven himself to be that close back-to-back weeks, and it would be very, very sad to see him not go through by the end of all these weeks. But also, Crippa and Boyer, they were just outside the top 10. Hunter and Kinstar, they were back in 17th, and the notable, of course, from the Ghost Clan themselves. I said Ghost Clan last week, and it's a phrase, okay, guys? I'm not actually saying, I know it's Ghost Gaming, but the Ghost duo, you guys know them, Camo and Issa, they were back in 26th place as well. So still pretty notable finishes there, but just going to show you, again, as no surprise, really, how heavy this competition really is when one of your best duos from this past summer and over the past probably year and a half as well, in Issa and Camo, are back in 26th place. Just RNG wise, hopefully going to move up those standings and of course qualify as well. But still, some notable duos out there. Mongol and Mitro, I think is great to see them at least certify their spots, and we'll see what other duos come from Europe as we go on. NA West, a very, very interesting story. I'm actually going to start off by saying Neo and Nick Merckx. We all know Neo from his streams with Nick Merckx as well. They stream together quite often. I usually watch from Nick's perspective, and Neo is absolutely nuts. They actually have a pretty good placement back in top 20, so at least showing they have a chance to qualify. I would love nothing better than to see at least some controller players actually qualify, because alongside people like Aiden, Nick Merckx as well has said, Chap alongside him has said pretty much controller players have just about no shot to try and qualify. It'd be great to see some duos out there prove everyone wrong, but it actually is Arkram and Falconer taking that single spot. Got a couple of the world best gaming people, Pika and Rux out there. Actually, funny story, if you guys probably don't care, care at all. I almost worked for World Best Gaming, so that'd have been pretty cool, but I don't work for them. Anyway, back to the rankings as well. Inside the top 10, we actually have a few other teams you might know. Of course, Cloud and Kazooie up there, Sean and Aiden, very notable placements as well, so you love to see that, and hopefully going to see them in the finals. And even some Kangarna boys, their members, they're two of their newest members as well, placing inside the top 10, and a new org, so congrats to the Fortnite guy. Apparently signing some pretty good players. Congrats. And as we enter NA East, oh man, the stories, the tweets out there, the salt, as you guys could tell by the thumb. I couldn't think of a better thumbnail, okay? I apologize about that. It's just a bit of interesting storylines coming out of NA East so far, and controversy out there. First of which, it's actually Dubs and his partner Mega. This is a really disappointing story to see. According to both of them, apparently it was actually Mega being DDoS during the event after they won the semis as their duo. So it's very, very sad to see a definite competitor out there, a definite chance to qualify back-to-back weeks for Dubs, and even his partner Mega as well. His first qualifying for one of the biggest event esports currently as well, and he gets DDoSed. It's just a really sad sight to see and really disappointing. So hopefully going to reset his router in terms of course, not going static for the future. So hopefully going to have that fixed for the week number 4. But either way, when you have a run like they did, you can't always replicate that. So just super sad to not see them in the finals at all because of being DDoS. Besides that as well, we actually another storyline out there. Current Misfits member, formerly known as Stream Sniping Tfue, that being Septic, has now actually qualified for the World Cup before Tfue. That being with his partner Clicks, but alongside them, super happy for those guys. Even happier for Lanane though. He was actually one spot outside the solo qualifiers. If you guys remember that, and Dubs was alleged to be cheating. So if Dubs was actually found guilty, it would be Lanane going in for solos. But this time around, he actually qualifies for duos alongside his Luminosity partner Tyler. So super happy for those guys. And the names, well, they just went on and on outside the top 10 as well. Some very, very popular names. As we all know, NA East and Europe, by far and away the most competitive region so far, and thus proving, I'm really still confused. Are any teams out there going to maybe fly over to NA West instead of NA East and maybe risk the 1 spot over 3 spots? I would not be surprised, and actually would love to see the strategy if it does work out, but it seems many of our players so far are sticking to the NA East because they offer a couple more spots. And also incredible for Kreo. If you guys do not, well, many of you guys probably know on this channel as well, Luminosity Gaming former member Kreo himself, he actually qualifies alongside Kiwi Face for Lazarus. He's been doing great things for them over in the solos. He had a top 10 finish and was doing very, very well, or maybe a top 20 finish. Either way, a well-noted name in Kreo doing great things over at Lazarus. Only a couple spots out of qualifying for duos, and hopefully going to keep that work up out there as well. Bugga also having a great show with his duo partner here. He was also well-noted in solos on top of that. And then we get into the duos out there that have had their tweets correspondingly, that being Demo and Bizzle. They also place around that top 20 mark as well. It's still a very, very good placement, but they are notably one of the best, if not probably a top 3 duo out there alongside Tfue and Cloaksy. So still a pretty good performance here, but Bizzle obviously having his tweets. I cannot say he's wrong. This was met with a bit of backlash out there. He was not completely wrong though, right? What he's saying is fairly accurate, but it's also fairly like, I don't know. I can see both sides, okay? It seems like a sore loser, but at the same time, is he really wrong? And then Cloaksy and Tfue, arguably probably the best duo in the world. I don't think you can really argue against it, but still, at the very least, a top 3 in many people's books out there, alongside the likes of Demo and Bizzle as well. They placed back in 84th, though, and that kind of sparked their tweets alongside that with controller and aim assist. I've already talked about this on the channel, probably not going to talk about it even more, but we have seen, I'm not going to lie, surprising number of controller players actually higher up in the standings, but we don't see very many of them compared to PC players. I'm not going to get into the argument because, well, there's just way too many things to argue about that, but either way, very, very much surprise coming out of all the regions that we thought they were going to, that being NA East, West, and of course is Europe as well, Asia, Oceania, and alongside them kind of Brazil, kind of hard to argue against. I don't really follow those scenes too closely, but either way, duos, the week qualifier number 2 is now concluded, and we now enter into our second round of solos and duos these next 2 weeks, and we're going to see what pro players can actually show up and improve on their previous rankings. As always, I hope you guys all enjoy it. My name is Jake. I'll see you back here next week breaking down qualifier number 3. That's going to be solo qualifier number 2 though, and as always, I hope you guys all enjoy, and until then, take care.